That was so cool. You gotta go.
6:14, everyone. Let's talk politics. The debt ceiling bill now heads to President Biden's desk after clearing its final legislative hurdle.
Yeah, Washington correspondent Hannah Brandt is joining us live from D.C. with reaction from both sides of the aisle. Hannah, good morning.
Hazel, Dan, good morning. Well, lawmakers on both sides have problems with this final package, but many of them decided it was better to pass it than to risk default, which could devastate our economy.
The bill is passed.
Just days before the default deadline, the Senate passed a debt ceiling deal.
Very welcome news for our economy and for American families.
The package is a compromise negotiated by President Biden and Speaker McCarthy. It lifts the debt ceiling into 2025 and places caps on spending.
To get a 2-year budget deal that gives us a path forward with no more chaos on the budget picture is an accomplishment.
But lawmakers from both parties had a lot of complaints. Many Democrats voiced concern about new work requirements for people on food aid and the approval of a controversial gas pipeline. Senator Tim Kaine offered an amendment to strip the pipeline approval, but it didn't pass.
I think it's frankly an outrageous giveaway that is unjustified.
Many Republicans argued the package didn't cut spending enough. And even though defense funding was boosted in the bill, Senator Lindsey Graham says it isn't enough to keep pace with inflation.
If you believe that the number one job of the federal government is to defend this nation, then we have made a serious mistake.
But Majority Leader Chuck Schumer promised the Senate can still approve supplemental national security funding as needed.
And there's emergencies, whether they be on the foreign policy, military front, or the domestic front. We've always funded them.
President Biden says he'll sign this bill as soon as possible, and he is scheduled to give a speech about it later tonight. Dan, Hazel, back to you.
All right, Hannah, thank you. 6:16, everybody. And a former aide to embattled Representative George Santos says he was hired